All right, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far today. I'm going to go ahead and get started a little bit early today because today's stream is going to be a bit shorter. So I want to see if I can get a bit farther. I don't think I'm going to have time to finish the piece during the stream, but what I'll do is I will probably finish it up off stream and then I'll post it not only in the Discord, but of course on socials and whatnot so you guys can see it. So let's go ahead and hop on over here, see what I got so far. So we got this pretty wild snake here that DJ Delta submitted. I'm assuming it's some sort of god, so I figured maybe like the scene would be like maybe they've someone has entered its like sacred cave and woken it up and pissed it off, and yeah, so now it's like coming for him basically. I liked the colors and whatnot, and it reminded me a lot of stained glass, so I decided to do the inside of the hood as stained glass. I thought that would be a cool effect, so hopefully I'm right that is indeed a cool effect. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and we'll get started here. So I'm gonna start with, well, they're mostly scales, so everything's gonna be pretty much the same material, except that some of them are gonna need different gradient maps. So I guess I'll work on them on individual layers here. So multiply. And I guess I'll start with the blue because that is underneath. So let's go ahead and select all that. Do this. And we're going to lower the opacity, of course, down like that. And then I can start carving away areas where the light's going to be. I think I'm going to have some light source from the stained glass and also from behind here and around the eyes. So we're gonna treat it that way. I think that'll give us the most like dramatic effect of this snack. Hey, how's it going, Nympha? Yes, it is indeed snack time. It's actually pretty cool. Like I haven't drawn like any sort of like creature stuff in a while, so this is like really good practice for me. I remember thinking when they submitted it, I was like, oh, okay. For an OC. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. I'm alright. I have been perpetually tired lately. I don't know if it's like my age or what, but man, I'm just always sleepy now. So I'm like fighting the urge to take a nap. Hey, One Seeker, how's it going? Oops. I meant to do this. Let's kind of give it a little bit more shadow back here so there's some like ridge in between the scales. Hey, Pensy, how's it going? I'm actually going to turn this up a little bit more so I can kind of see easier the contrast of what I'm doing, because we're gonna be lowering this opacity back down anyway in a minute. Ah, I see, I see. So I'm glad I did that, because see, there's some spots here that got like kind of jank. So yeah, I'm not the only one. Pensy's sleepy too. We are the sleepy crew. Alright, let's see. So let's have this light source be from underneath. I feel like I'm getting like into that line. There we go. It's better. That and that. Luckily, I think coloring this is going to be far faster than the drawing and all that I had to do and all the setup I did yesterday. That took a really long time. So let's see. Let's only have a little bit of light here because we're going to have the shadow from this like that. So go ahead and carve that out. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I kind of assumed because it was like such a large. It looks like a large snake at least, and it had all sorts of uh, like crests and like spikes and stuff on it. I assumed it was some sort of god. Usually snakes, as far as like divinity goes, usually have to do with like rebirth and stuff. But this could be a death god snake, like you're saying. That also makes it kind of like more badass. It's like, oh, it's a death god. He wants a cuddle. You just have to avoid the spiky parts if you want to cuddle it. I'm gonna try to have where the light is follow the shape of the scales. Try to make it a little more believable in that way, even though it's a pretty fantastical snake. Don't know if that's a word, but it is now. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Some info from my beautiful wife who knows all the things all the time. She's so smart. Man, words are hard today, I'll tell you. I know you're better than you think you are. It's a known fact. Just a little bit of that side. Lionsgate portal is open now. What does that mean? Professor Havoc here. It's giving us a lesson. Ah, nice. Hell yeah. I should maybe I should do like a sub push or whatever to get more subs on my Twitch coming up here. I gotta think of some sort of like event for that, because that's usually what people do, is they do some sort of like event for like their subathon, so they get a bunch of new people in and stuff. But not sure exactly what I have the energy for, because they usually do it for like hours and hours and hours. So we'll see. I'll have to look, see what I can come up with. Oops, looks like I got some of these colors overlapping here. I'll have to go through and clean that up. That's going to bother me unless I fix it now. So let me go ahead and do that. We got some of the gold scale coming over top there. And then some of this the gum color here and the tongue color. There we go. That's better. Ooh. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Man, I am just like so impossibly tired of allergies. Like, I took an allergy pill and everything, and I'm still like, I'm gonna be clearing my throat and being gunky. I hates it. It hurts my face. At least since I have this all drawn out now, like, pretty much doing like the rendering and the shading shouldn't be terribly complex or difficult. It's mostly just carving out the shapes of the scaling. And scales are like high contrast, high gloss, so it'll be pretty easy to color them. Not a whole lot of matte's going to be going on this. I think the main difference, though, is when I get to the yellow, I'm going to have them actually be like metal gold, kind of. So that's going to be the main like material difference. I think that would look cool. At least it looks cool in my head, so we're going to try to translate it best we can. I could be very wrong. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at like visualizing in my head, like, and then getting the result I'm looking for. So I have faith in myself that I can do it. Make it look cool. trying to think. Gotta do some of this, like some of the light is blocked at least on one side here. Because we got like this spike thing, so it would kind of like block some of it. But of course the eyes are going to be glowy here, so I'm going to carve these out. And around the ridge on the inside here. I'm actually glad that I started doing like the anime cell shading style again. If I was painting this, it must just be like a pain in the ass. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was gonna respond to you after stream there. My manager. That's funny. Let's see. Let's have a little bit of this like kind of ridge here, because like I said, I want some of it to be kind of like blocked by out by this. Plus, it'll look kind of cool. Yeah, I think that looks cool. I like that. Let's see. I think some of this will probably be blocked a little bit up here, so we'll do that. Sorry I sound so low energy, because I literally am low energy today. I gotta like talk to my doctor and be like, yo, like why am I tired like all the time? And don't tell me just because I'm old, because I know that. Tell me something I don't know. And make sure we zoom out every now and then to make sure that everything's still reading correctly. Sometimes when you're zoomed in too far, you get kind of like tunnel vision on the area that you can see. So you gotta make sure that you avoid that. Alright, so that's most of it on the face. I gotta get these over here. What's cool about this is it's like, you know, it's gonna be a lot of carving like the same general shape out. So that's pretty neat. That makes things a lot easier. Let's see, so there would actually be, there's going to be some cast shadow there, so let's carve into that. We'll have a little bit of this. A little bit up here, and there's some gonna be some rim lighting, so up there we'll have a little bit. It's gonna be Triangle City basically. Oops, some of this orange didn't get filled in here. Fix that in just a sec. And since there's some rim light, we'll also do this way. Digital art, the lasso tool is your friend. So get like super familiar with the lasso tool. Like, it's gonna feel a little slidey and a little weird at first, but like once you get it down, like it's super helpful, especially with cell shading. You can also use it with digital painting to get like a crisp edge on one side, and then the other side you can have your where it like blends. And it's going to be a little darker down here. So we're going to have less of a highlight as it goes down that way. That's one side. Let's go ahead and flip it. I had to flip this damn thing so many times and like do adjustments to the using like the liquify just to like make sure that like the shapes were right and that things weren't like lopsided. It's like really important to do that. Oh, stretching, good idea. Thank you. Whew. I feel better. Thank you so much. I'm like kind of like hunched over the the tablet right now, so and there'll be like a little bit going this way because we have the light source from the or the stained glass part. This is going to be like glowy, like light is going through it. I mean, realistically, the back of this hood would be blocking any light, but that doesn't look cool, so we're not going to do that. We're going to act like light is flowing through this all together here. So maybe it's got some sort of like energy source inside of it that's like a light. That's how we'll justify it. Like can't have it not look cool. That's you know the number one rule in Aniki's book here is that it's got to look cool. Nobody wants to look at uncool art. And I didn't really draw out the scales in this part, so we'll do we'll give it a little bit of some shape there with the lighting. And then through here, I think we're going to have just a little bit of some rim light peeking through here, because the body in the back is going to be also blocking some of this light. So we'll have a little bit just kind of like along this edge here. Just so like the values also don't get lost. Let's see. So I think that's pretty good for the blue. Go ahead and flip it back that way. I'm going to give it a slight blur. And I'm going to reduce this opacity again. And then we'll build it back up. I always think it looks better if you like lower it down and then build it back up, so. No, actually, I always make like ridiculous stretch noises every time I stretch. It's funny, right as you redeem that, Nympha, I just went ahead and took a drink of water, so I'll take another drink for you. Thank you. keep Aniki hydrated. Alright, so let's get some of our shape here with our soft, with our airbrush here. Just kind of a little bit here, a bit there. Across there. It's going to be a little bit here. There. This area, of course, is going to have some just on the one side. I don't know. I really like that I have like such a variety of like stuff to work on doing these OC art raffles. Like gives me a lot of like practice in different things. Like it's really cool. It's very, very helpful to improving my skills. Let's do a nice big one down here. There we go. And I'm going to reduce the opacity again because I don't want it to everything to get too dark, you know. There we go. Now we can do some, let's see, let's do, we're going to do this, invert, and then overlay. I'm thinking, I'm going to take this. And I'm just going to do a little bit like here along these edges. Actually, you know what? It's supposed to be the other way. Let's delete that. Gonna re-invert that. This might actually work better if I do add glow. Otherwise, it's not going to show up because everything's so dark here. I'm just doing kind of like just a bit of a transitional color between like the yeah. She'll be unstoppable if you give her too much power. She is a demon lord, you know. What have you done? And normally I would do this with like my usual like my drawing pen, but I don't want to do that today, so we're gonna stick with the airbrush here. Make it a little softer this time. Also because like the materials are gonna be like really shiny. I feel like the airbrush is a better tool for this today, so. Could just be copium, but you know. Huffing all that copium. So if I were to do like a subathon, what do you think? What do you guys think would be like some cool like activities that I could do that could like, you know, bring in new people like to the community so they can come and hang out with all of us and have a good time. And I don't know if I want to do anything like actually. I know it's kind of misleading to have people come in like, you know, because it's an art channel, but like I feel like doing art for a subathon would be like I'd burn out like really fast. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. So let's bring this down to 30. Duplicate it, and then we'll do glow dodge. And then that'll show up once we do our gradient map and stuff. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Nympha. They're pretty tough. See, I'm worried about like the sketch with me where people can share their quick sketches too. I don't know. Like, see, my problem is I have no chill when it comes to art, so I couldn't trust myself to restrain myself to just sketches. So I don't know. Yeah. No, it's okay, Fancy. I am too. Like I am downright just absolutely exhausted today. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I'm with you. Oops. That's supposed to be the opposite. Select, invert. There we go. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna airbrush in some yellow for the lighting too. So we're gonna do some yellow around the outside here. I don't know if that's making much of a difference. Oh, I have to push harder. There we go. more pressure. Do that, and we'll do a little bit more. Trying to have it be a bit brighter where the light sources are coming from. Alright, we're going to deselect that, and now I need to do some actual like soft light here. Now that we've got our hard light established, that area, and let's go back to the orange here. Kind of get there. A little bit more orange in here. Now let's do some blur. So 6 is probably good. And we'll reduce the opacity again. Duplicate. Let's do glow dodge. And we're gonna blur that a bunch because glow dodge is like hellaciously like powerful if you do too much on it. Let's see. I think I might bring up the hard light some more. So maybe 50. And then, well, maybe I'll bring up the glow dodge. See if that makes a difference too. That makes a bit of a difference. And maybe instead of add glow, maybe overlay. I think overlay looks a little bit better. Let's bring up the opacity. I think that looks pretty good. And because this is a scale material, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more layer of highlight. And I'm going to do that with the add glow, of course. And let's do this so I can stay within my highlight areas. Are you not working? Do I need to invert it? There we go. Oh, it's got kind of like the blue because of the... I see. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put this... I'll have to put this highlight layer above everything. Let's do that. Let's put it up here. You know what? That's probably also why. Let me bring this up. Ooh, yeah, that looks better on that. Okay, cool. We figured it out. Now I can do... There's still some like overall blue here, but that's okay. So we're just going to go through. We're just going to kind of around the edge of things, because they're going to be kind of like almost like a ridge kind of highlight with like this kind of thing, because scales are very like hard edge kind of material. So you kind of want to reflect in what you're doing that there's edges to like your lighting and whatnot. So
no, beans, no. I'm not leaving the window open just because you wanted it. You leaving it up here or no? You can't go downstairs and leave the window.
also try not to overdo the highlight too much. Yeah, that is true. You do have an advantage as far as that goes. I don't think the venom will affect you, being an android and all. Oh, I gotta be careful because some of this is going into the other area here. I see, because I moved this layer up on top of everything, so gotta be conscious of that. Alright, let's get just the underside of these, because it's mostly, light sources mostly come from the bottom on these areas here. Yeah, I don't think it could hurt her either. I think I'd be okay too, because I'm quantum, so like, I could put myself into a state where I'm alive and dead at the same time, so. Or I could propel myself into a version of me that is impervious to the venom. I'm kind of OP too, so, Oh, I don't know if you guys are Wes Anderson film enjoyers, but Havoc and I watched The Phoenician Scheme last night, and I really enjoyed it. It's like the number one thing on the book of what is it, like shit white people like? It's Wes Anderson films. But yeah, it was really cute. I liked it. I like that he always picks like really good actors for it too. Pensy does get you. That's because Pensy is a G. Anybody who says otherwise is gonna have to fight me, and I'll win. Yeah, the Grand Budapest Hotel is really good. A Life Aquatic is my favorite. It's just so like, I think it's mostly the music. I think is kind of one of the reasons why I like it so much, because it's just so quirky. That and Bill Murray's like the main character, so I love Bill Murray. Bill Murray can do no wrong in my eyes, even though he might be an asshole in real life. I don't actually know. He's pretty old now, so he might just be getting the I'm super old asshole syndrome if he is an asshole now. My headcanon is that he's super nice. Hmm?
There you go. So soft. He's a sweet boy. Why'd you wake us up? Why'd you wake us up?
Yeah, I know. He was. Vegeta was keeping Havoc and I up this today. Got us up at like 7 something. We were like, dude, bruh. It is not even remotely time to get up. Kind of wondering if I should put this highlight layer on top of literally the entire piece. Might look better. I don't know. We'll mess with it at some point. Alright, let's get some of these up here. Then in here, where the stained glass is projecting, let's do a bigger one here so we can separate the value from the background part of it so it doesn't all blend together. And it'll be pretty intense right here. Just a little bit across these. And again, we'll get this like ridge here. So yeah, some highlights separating the back part of this neck from the front. That's true, Pensy. That's a good point. Like, I know Michael Fassbender is an asshole in real life, but I like movies that he's in. There's also a lot of movies that I like to have Edward Norton in it, and I heard that he's an asshole, so. But, you know, celebrities are people too, so maybe, like, they got something going on in their lives that we don't see. I don't know. Doesn't excuse it, but everybody has, like, a moment where they pop off on somebody, so. I can't say I never have, so. But if it's usually if it's not warranted, I'll go back and I'll apologize. So, especially if I was in the wrong. I try my best to look at things objectively. Sometimes my emotions get the best of me, but I always try to like reflect afterwards. Be like, did they really deserve that? It's like, no, okay, let me go ahead and apologize. It's the people that apologize even though they realize that don't apologize even though they know they're wrong. Those are the real assholes. You know, if the snake wasn't like a million different colors, I probably could have done this all together on top of it. But because it's different colors, I want to have different gradient maps, so I need to have the shading and whatnot separated, because otherwise the gradient maps won't be able to fully utilize their potential. So I don't know. It's one of those things where like the snake is cool because it has a bunch of different colors, but it does make a lot more work. But that's okay. Alright, so we're going to reduce the opacity. Then we'll duplicate it. Do add glow. Let's give it some blur. Let's do like 20%. Reduce it a little bit there. And then we're going to do this. Put some red underneath it. There we go. That looks pretty cool. Alright, so now I can put my gradient map on my blue layer here.
Nice. Nice.
Let's try these. Because they have a bunch of... I like using some of these because they're almost like, you know, the scales are almost like metallic kind of, so they're going to have a bunch of different like colors and shapes involved in it. I think there's a bit too much blue in that. I mean, not blue, purple. So let me try some of these other ones. Kind of like that one. Let's try this one maybe. I don't want it to be too saturated because the background is really saturated, so it won't have enough visual contrast. What about this one? That one's kind of purpley. Kind of like that one, maybe. Trying to pick ones that have not only like the base color, but like some of the environmental color too. That way it's like an all-in-one kind of package. What about this one? Oh no, it's too much purple. Alright, let's go back. And I think it was that one. I think that one's gonna work. And we're gonna do a tone curve. We're gonna back it out. I'm gonna lighten it up like a bunch. Otherwise we won't be able to see the difference in the values. There needs to be some contrast, of course, to it, because it's a glossy material. Let's bring the mids down some. And let's see, what else can we do here? Let's do some color balance, I think would help. Some red and some yellow. I think if I bump up the red and the yellow, that'll probably help because of the lighting scheme. It's mostly that way. Let's bring the blue in, back in a little bit here. And let's reduce the saturation a bit, maybe. What happens if I saturate it more? Oh, looks like crazy. So let's not do that. Let's just desaturate it just a little bit. Take it down to like -5. Just want to see a little bit. Light it up just a tad bit there. I think that looks fine. Get some water. Thank you, thank you. And I'll save as well. You know what? I wonder what happens. No, I'm going to leave it where it is. Okay, cool. So we got the blue, at least for the front part of the snake. You know what? I shouldn't collapse it yet because I'm going to need it for the back part too. These layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate them. So we do a non-destructive way of doing this. And then I can merge. And then we'll duplicate it again. And then we can do our chromatic aberration on this layer. I'm going to make it a little bit higher, I think, on this. I think that'll work better. And then lighten. And then we'll bring that way down to 30%. There we go. The chromatic aberration's looking pretty cool. Maybe if I try it with a different... Oh, that looks kind of crazy. What about linear lights? I think I'll stick to it as color. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. That way it doesn't get rid of the light source. So let's make all this red so I know that these are things that are affecting it. Alright, cool. So the blue's done. Let's do our gold ones. I probably should have done the gold ones first, actually. That would have made like way more sense. And let's actually stick this in a folder too, because I have the stained glass on top of these gold ones here. So let's do golden scales. All right. And I'm not going to put the blue on this because I want these to be like they're actually made out of like the gold material, so it's going to be not so much affected by the surrounding colors. I don't know why gold is like that, but for some reason, like as a material, it doesn't pick up color. When I learned that, I was like, that is crazy. Like other metals will like reflect like the colors and whatnot of the environment around it, but gold doesn't for some reason. Man, it's been storming like crazy on the East Coast here. That means I'll probably get one later. East Coast is like, have some storms. Are you tired of storms yet? Too bad, more storms. I think this is going to look really cool when I'm done with it. Especially if I do it right and I have the materials actually look different. I think it's going to look dope. They actually, DJ Delta did a good job with picking the colors because this is actually a complementary colors here. So, like, the blue is across from, like, the yellows and the oranges. So, I don't know if they consciously made that decision or not, but it's a good design choice for the colors that they used.
My meeting got canceled.
Oh, the meeting got canceled?
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah, guys. I can stream for longer. Havoc's meeting got canceled. That's awesome. Thanks. Yeah, meetings are stupid. Most of the time, there is like pretty much zero like reason for them. They usually just waste your time. And then they're like, "Oh, why are you behind on your work?" It's like, "Well, cuz you put me in a stupid meeting for like hours. Like, what do you expect?" One seeker could be a puppy. Could be a champion-sized puppy. Let's see. So we're gonna have some light on the top here from the eyes, and then of course we have a different source down here from. Well, we're not going to be able to see all of it actually. It's going to block some of this, so this is going to block some of it. So I'll just leave that on that side, and then do a little bit up here too. Let's see. So a little bit in the middle here. A little bit across here. Then at the top here. Alright, I'm gonna save. I do have to run to the restroom real fast. I will be right back, guys. Less than 5 minutes.
It's your turn.
Alright, sorry about that. I am back. Alright, and I just realized that this is also going to affect... Oop. Oh my god, my thing just got super uncalibrated. Hold on, sorry guys. Let me throw that back up so I can fix it. I don't know how that happened. And there. Is it back? Okay, now it's good. Alright, let me put it back up. Oops, wrong thing. There we go. Now we're back. I don't know what happened there. Alright, so I need to select this inner area here. And go ahead and cut that out. Because we want that to be nice and like bright. So we're going to chop that out. Sure I didn't miss any spots. I did. Along this edge here. I want that to like bring like a ton of attention to this area here, so it's gonna be nice and bright. So let me get this side. Gotta make sure I do it in here too. There we go. Hell yeah. Oh, let me turn my alarm off on my phone, because I had one for Havoc's meeting, but now we don't need that, so I don't need you. All right, back to what I was doing. There, and just have a little bit across here so we can kind of tell the difference between the values. And this is like, 3D, it's kind of like sticking out, so we want to make sure that we show that. Gotta think of things as like planes, like there's going to be a bunch of like triangular planes on this because it's not flat. Need to go in and fix this like orange scales here. Metallica. Even though it's the Jonathan Young cover, I believe. I can't believe they're still touring. I mean, I get it. Like, that's the only way you can make money as like a musician. But they are quite old now. Hell, I think even AC/DC's still going at it too. It's so sad that Ozzy just passed. But he's been in a bad state for a while. So it's probably best for him to go ahead and pass. Rip though, he's definitely one of the goats. Come on. Thank you. Your puppy's birthday? Sorry, I just read that. Puppy birthday party sounds fantastic. Sounds like an absolute joy. like a connecting across there. That look neat. Anything involving puppies is going to be adorable. Adorables. Actually, I don't think there'd be as much of a highlight because of the plane on that. I probably should have done that here actually too. Let's see, there's going to be a little bit here. Most of it's going to be blocked by this, so we're just kind of have a little bit there. And then from the back lighting source here, like that. I think that's the hardest part, is trying to keep in mind the shapes you're working with. Like, the lighting doesn't have to 100% make sense, but it's gotta be like somewhat believable for like the light source. You want to try to make things look as 3D as possible. That way your art won't be so flat. Especially with cell shading. It's like real easy to have your artwork look flat if you don't think about it enough. I feel like my art improved a lot too when I was like thinking about. I started thinking about like the way light will block certain parts. By the way, this is a brush. I did not draw all this out. I was like, I am not drawing every single individual scale. Like, that would have been insane. I did it mostly like on the face though. I planned out the scales and where everything was and like the structure there, but on the body, nah, dog. Alright, let's see. So I need these big scales here underneath. Cute little body. Have you guys watched the Harley Quinn cartoon, the show? If you haven't, you should watch it. It's hilarious. It's so good. Yeah, exactly. Best King Shark. Also best Clayface. Best Joker. It's just golden. Yep, exactly. Alan is the goat. I guess there'd be a little bit over there too in this corner. Makes it look a little bit more 3D. Oops. Let's bring this shape in a bit here. Let's have this block a little bit of light here actually, because they are stacked on top of each other. Let's get the jaw from the snake a bit here, and then we'll get some from the tongue. Oh yeah, Dr. Psycho. I love how everybody like freaks out when he calls Wonder Woman a cunt. Out of all the things he's doing, that's the thing they focus on. They're like, oh, he can't use that word. It's so silly. Yeah. We're gonna say there's like a little bit of a light source down here, just so we can keep some of the values different. There just won't be quite as much of a highlight. Then it'll keep it more like visually interesting down there. There's some shapes to look at that'll lead up. Alright, I think that's all the gold pieces on this part of it. So let's go ahead, we'll give it a little bit of a blur. And then we're going to reduce the opacity. Bring it back up a bit. And I know with gold, there is like usually like a darker kind of like transition. So that's what we're going to do with we're going to go kind of like more into like a darker desaturated brown, like almost black. So something like this. So we're just going to kind of go around the outside here. Of like where the highlights are. And then a little bit along some of the planes of it. Trying my best to just make it look like metallic. Like metals tend to have like some like kind of like crazy way that they handle like the light and what they reflect, so again, we're just trying to make it somewhat believable. It doesn't have to be perfect, so oh, I forgot to do a gradient shadow too, so I'll have to do that. Just a sec. Just wanted to do this before I forgot. I don't know. Art's kind of like gathering like the recipe to make things, and you just kind of gather each piece,
Rotten cat.
put it together to so you can make your whole piece with all the skills. And a lot of that is just kind of just gaining knowledge, trial and error, experimenting. Also try not to overdo this too much here, so that's easy to do too. I should probably flip this. There we go. Make things easier. Don't worry, buddy. When I'm done streaming, I will give you your wet food.
Eat your kibble.
I was gonna say, he has... At least he has his kibble, yeah. He's like weird about when he actually wants his wet food. Like sometimes he just looks at me like, how dare you put this shit in front of me? What is this slop? How dare you serve this to a prince? I mean, yeah, he's my precious baby. He's a pain in my ass a lot, but he's my precious baby. He tried to box my ears last night. Went to go pick him up because he knew it's like, it's bedtime, dude. Like, we have to keep him in our room at night because he just can't be trusted otherwise to, like, not try to escape when people go to work in the morning. But, yeah, I picked him up and he was not happy about it. He, like, got me, like, kind of like on the back of my head a little bit, like behind my ears, because he tried to box my ears with his claws. I was like, that's so rude, dude. Like, it's bedtime. Yeah, exactly. I just kind of gave him a stern look, held him a little tighter, and then he just like kind of like slowly calmed down. I was like, that's right. It's like, Dad just loves you. How dare you hurt me? Man, it's playing Mars Volta again. Let's see. Yeah, some spirit box. Hell yeah. I think this is going to look super neat when I'm done with it. I am optimistic. Getting there. It's like stuff like this might be tedious, but it pays off in the end. It's what I tell myself to get through it. It's like, I don't have to go hard like this, but it wouldn't be an Anarchy piece if I didn't go hard. Plus, the results are just like satisfying. If you get it right, it's like, oh shit, that looks cool. I like this. I just saw what you typed. Yeah, I'm the one at fault. He is royalty after all. Oh my god, I forgot the gold is such a large part of this piece. That's okay. That's all I have. You let the lights on. We had a broken heart.
You gotta stop opening the door. Pain in my whole ass.
I have now. I'm trying my best not to do just this like randomly. I'm still trying to think about some of the form, so it follows like the directions of the planes and whatnot of it. It's not easy to do. I think this is why rendering is also like my favorite part, because you can take like imperfections in either like the line work or things like that, and you can use your rendering to do like little corrective things. So I'm thinking I won't be able to get all of this done in this one stream here because my shoulder is starting to bother me, but I'm going to at least finish rendering this layer here, and then what I'll do is I will finish this up probably off stream. I do have a commission I need to work on as well already, so I gotta make sure that I'm still working on that too, because they have already paid me, and that's my number one priority. But most likely that I'll be streaming working on that commission probably on Thursday as well. So you guys will get to see what I'm working on. It's a commission for a desktop wallpaper. Has two OCs in it, so it's going to be pretty cool hopefully when it's done. I'm actually going to manifest that it's going to be super cool when it's done, you know. Believe in myself. You got this, Aniki. It's going to be awesome. They're going to be super happy with it. Ooh, so much gold. All the gold. Really wish I didn't have this like shoulder injury. That can go a lot longer. But, you know, consequences of my actions, so. Aniki is not invincible. I wish he was. That would be dope. Alright, so I feel like I need some more shadow here from the jaw. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to fill this area. So we can use some of our gold effect for that. Probably should have had some down here too, actually. That's okay. This is one of my favorite Betty Metal songs. So good. Will be my dear, never like darling starlight. Let's flip this back this way. I feel like we need some more dark spots in here. Cut into it just a little bit more for that metallic effect. Let's go ahead and get our just kind of like bigger spots here out of the way. We can just fill them. There isn't quite as much light down here, so we can kind of fill some of these areas here. Also help make my line work make a little bit more sense as far as the shading goes. Just kind of have it where it's darker down here. And then we can go through and go back to our details. Should always work big, medium, small. That's usually the way to go. Try to keep it somewhat consistent here. If I get too wild and too random, it'll break it, and I don't want that. Actually, it'd be a pretty big splotch of it there. Same on this side. Some of these filled in here. Because we want the majority of the light source like up here, so this will help have like contrast. carve out just a bit in these so they're not like no detail, they're just shadows aren't complete shadows, so emotions, all tears. Say goodbye. Today. I'm on my way. Affiliation, I need them. Lose my destination. Otherwise, man, there's a blue side behind it. Everything that's gone, my mistakes. Let's wait. All night, so we fight. Make a sacrifice, move forward and take flight. No, I've lost. The idea will be my guide. The light is light. Come laugh at me. Laugh along with me. Did you reach my destination? The things I should have told you. Getting there. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish up this layer. And then I am gonna take a break for the day. Well, at least for a little while. And then have some food and stuff, and then I can work on that commission, because that's important. Alright, let's see if I missed anywhere. Don't think I did. I think I got all the pieces. Cool. Hell yeah. Alright, that took a little bit longer than I would like, but that's okay. What matters is that the result is going to be cool. Do that, and we're going to lower the opacity. Linear burn, and I did not do a gradient shadow, so let's go ahead and we'll get that. Pick this color. We get more of the form. Also do some more shadow for the face, because the face is taking up a good amount of the real estate here. For the head, and then down here. This way, put it quite a bit darker down here. And let's make it a little smaller, and then we'll do across this ridge and across this ridge. A little bit more in here. Kind of towards the middle here, there's less light. Through here. Should be quite a bit darker actually in this spot. Towards the middle. Yeah, let's get more in there. Alright, now we're going to turn the opacity way down on that too. 15. Then let's take this and normally, well, I guess I'll start it as the hard light, but usually I would do this with add, but I think a hard light will work pretty well first. Oops, it's got to be the opposite. Select invert. Start with hard light here. And it's okay, we can have it in here for the stained glass because I do want that to be bright, so I think that's okay to leave that like that. Let's actually start this with a bit of a darker yellow though. There we go. Do that. Deselect. Let's blur it a bit. Let's do like 10. Go down to 50%. And then we'll do add glue. I'm gonna blur that even more. We'll do like 50. Glow dodge. It's looking pretty good. So I'm thinking maybe do one more just so we get lots of contrast here. We'll do it as add, and we'll do it as almost white. I think that looks pretty good. Hell yeah, I like that. All right, nice. And let's get our gradient map, and I have a specific gradient map for gold that I like to use. Just gotta find it. There it is. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see. How about pin light? How's that look? I think pin light looks pretty good. Let's look at soft light, see what that looks like. So soft light has more of the, a little bit more of the saturation to it, but pin light's a little more accurate for how gold kind of is. Let's do pin light. Alright, so we want to have a good amount of contrast because it's a metallic surface here, so we're going to up the brights and we're going to lower the darks. Up the mids a little bit just so we get some lighting here. Make this nice and bright. Bring this down a little bit more. With that. And I think I'm going to do one more thing here. Let's do new layer. And we're going to give it some Perlin noise. 2% here. And brightness. Then we'll turn that down to like 10%. Just gives it a little bit of like a grain, because gold has kind of like a slight bit of a grain to it. I think that looks pretty good. And I want to make sure that I preserve these layers because I need to do this for like the back layers as well. So I am going to duplicate. Wow, it looks like crazy when I duplicate it. Merge. And then we'll duplicate it a second time. Filter, we'll get our chromatic aberration going on. And lighten. And I'm going to just bring that down to about 50. That gives us a little bit more of a glow on it, softens it up just a bit. So I think that looks pretty good. Let's do, so these right here are effects, so I'll make them red. These are regular layers, so I'll make them green. And keep this organized, make this orange. Do I need to do that? No, we'll find out. All right, hell yeah. All right, well, I think we made really good progress today, so let me make it nice and big. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my big VTuber head so you guys can see. And let's move all this over. That way we get maximum view on it. So yeah, I think we made some pretty good progress today. I will be finishing this off stream. Like I said, I have a commission that I need to work on, and that is going to be my priority. Uh, so let me go ahead and get you guys over in the lobby here. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I had a lot of fun working on this. I can't wait to finish it up. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I usually take a break on Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday, most likely working on that commission because I've doubt I'm going to get it done tonight and tomorrow. Definitely gonna put some time into it, put some work into it. If you guys aren't already following me, make sure you give me a follow to see when I go live. If you like the type of content I do, please consider subscribing. That would help me out a ton. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you are also awesome. I will catch you guys on Thursday. Bye bye bye.